Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new video. Kind of like a little December budget with me, but also a bit of a financial reset slash old budget versus new budget. And I honestly just wanted to sit down, hang out, pretend we're like at a coffee shop doing our budget together. And I need to go over my moving costs. I need to do a little bit of a bill breakdown kind of budget. This is my first month budgeting in the new house because a lot of our bills in November were for the condo because your bills are a month behind. And so I want to fill out my budget spreadsheet and kind of want to just give you guys a little bit of like savings updates and home projects and all that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited. Like I said, it's just gonna be super casual. I'm just sitting here. I've got my computer and I'm in the dining room. I kind of like this setup, honestly. And I've just been enjoying working down here because I'm in the process of painting my office. So it's a bit of a half blue, half cream wall situation. I also lost a nail today. These are awful. And I figured this could be the finance shirt from now on. I don't know. I thought a green shirt was kind of fitting. So I've spent the last little bit kind of combing through our moving costs, furnishing costs, our old bills, new bills, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm super excited to just go through it. And I feel kind of inspired. I don't know if it's because of a new year coming or what, but I'm just feeling really motivated. And I feel kind of out of whack when I don't budget, to be quite honest. And while I don't budget like dollar for dollar anymore, I do kind of like to have a sense of where my money's going, if I've spent less or more that month, what I can improve on the next month. And I kind of have felt a little bit of miss because I haven't done that in like a month or so. So without further ado, let's, I guess, jump into it. And the first thing we could start with is maybe our moving costs. That way I can kind of like finalize that and put that away. We kind of have it split into two categories. So we have our out-of-pocket moving expenses and then our sales slash bridge loan expenses. And what I mean by that is we had a profit from the condo because we bought cheaper, but we also sold our condo at a profit from what we originally bought it from. So most of our profit covered our closing costs. And with your second house, it's a little bit different, at least in Canada, because oftentimes you can port your mortgage. And so I got a lot of questions asking like how much we saved to move. And the honest answer is we didn't really have to have anything saved compared to the first time. And I have a ton of financial videos on like how much moving cost us as first time home buyers, how much it costs to buy a house, etc. So I can link that playlist down below to give you guys a better idea. But I did want to share this as a second time homeowner because I feel like there's not really a lot of information out there and I had no idea how it worked. We also got a bridge loan, which if you guys don't know, which I had no idea this was a thing before we bought. It is a short-term loan from, it can really depend the length of time that you get from your bank. It's also known as a caveat loan or a swing loan. And basically what it does is you're taking a loan out to cover your down payment because you're buying before you're selling. So we wanted to have overlap with our houses to move. Ended up buying this house on a Wednesday and then selling our house the next Tuesday. But because we were selling our house and using the proceeds from the house for our down payment on this house, we had to take a short-term loan out from the bank for that 6 days to cover us. And in the end, it only cost us about $200, which was a lot cheaper than having all of our stuff in storage for a few days. Our lawyer also advised us not to do a same-day transaction. It's obviously possible, but he said it's not the ideal route. So we tried to avoid that if we could. And we're so glad that we took the bridge loan because we had no stress because we had overlap of the houses. We didn't have to worry about selling our house, finding somewhere to stay for a few days, and then buying. Obviously there's like not really a right or wrong way to do it. It's just kind of up to your timeline, what you have going on. But because we obviously have a dog, we had a lot of stuff, we didn't want to have to stay with family for a few days if we could help it. And so going a bridge loan route was our best option. So let's go through some of those moving costs and we'll kind of go in chronological order of like moving costs, furnishing costs, old bills, new bills, and then my December budget with me. The first cost that we had was our home deposit. I think in the States you call this earnest money. It's basically the deposit money that you give to show that you're actually interested and you can financially afford a house when you put an offer in. And it's usually between 1 to 5% of your house cost. But I feel like in Canada it's pretty common to do 5,000. Like that seems to be the normal amount. You can do more if you're like really interested or there's a bidding war, but this comes off of your purchase price. We paid this out of pocket, of course, because we started looking for houses in May and we didn't sell until October. So that came out of pocket. I actually took from my emergency fund. And also to just note too, all these numbers are in Canadian and all of these numbers are split in half with my fiance. So our deposit was 5,000, but I'll put on the screen, my half was 2,500. Next, we had home inspections. We had 2 because you guys know we were actually under contract for another house, and then we ended up pulling out of that, and good thing we did because we got this house. And so 2 home inspections, that was of course out of pocket as well because it happens well before you sell your house. Those came to $1,219. This is where it gets really confusing, so I'm gonna try and explain the best that I can. But when you sell and buy, at least in Canada, I know in the US it's not very common to get a lawyer, I guess, for your real estate transactions, but here, I don't know if it's, I think it's required. We had a lawyer for our sale and our purchase, and we also had to pay land transfer tax this time because we weren't first-time home buyers. Our bridge loan covered us for the down payment on this house, and then also $8,000 like in total, which covered our land transfer tax and most of our lawyer fees. And so long story short, between both the lawyer fees, the sale, the purchase, and the land transfer tax, all we had to pay out of pocket was $1,676. Out of like the $10,000 in closing costs, this is just what we paid out of pocket that our bridge loan didn't cover us for, because your bridge loan only covers you a certain percentage. It's calculated ahead of time. We thought our bridge loan was going to cover us for everything. We found out it didn't. We had a lot of issues with our mortgage situation this time. Like the people we dealt with, there was a lot of miscommunication. So all that to say, the $10,000-ish in closing costs, most of that was covered by the profits of our house in our bridge loan, but out of pocket, basically for all 3 of those costs, land transfer tax, lawyers for selling, lawyers for buying, we paid $1,676 out of pocket. Next was movers. That was something we knew we were going to treat ourselves to this time, and I will never not have movers again. It was great. That cost for us was $1,302. I feel like that was a little high only because we were moving out of the city. So we moved about 45 minutes to 50 minutes out of the city. So there was like some gas mileage in there as well. I thought this was going to be a good spot to film it, but I am right in front of a window. So if the lighting changes, I'm going to do my best to kind of adjust, but fingers crossed the lighting stays good throughout this video. Then we had our mortgage appraisal fee, which that was $300, and Matt paid for that. Then we paid for mail forwarding, which was $68.37. I actually paid for that through the business because a lot of my PR packages and brand packages that I get, I was just worried that they wouldn't get changed over in time. So that got paid, but through the business, out of pocket. And then the last moving cost we had was our mortgage interest, which was about $500. So I believe that's a combination of the bridge loan and then the interest because we didn't have a mortgage payment all of November. You guys will see we have a double payment in December. But once again, our mortgage people were not great communicators at all, which is shocking because the first time we're with BMO, the first time we got our mortgage, they were great and awesome. And then we got someone new this time and the communication was so awful. We were having all these random fees come out of our account. We weren't getting a heads up. Do not recommend. Communication was poor. We literally had to pass on offering on a house because we couldn't hear back from our mortgage person. Anyways. So now in terms of profits from the house, and once again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. We just decided to do it this way it's just what we decided works for us. So from our profits, and how it works is basically you have like your sale price of your house, and then you pay your real estate fees right off the top of that. Then you pay off your current mortgage, whatever is left. If there is profit, we bought cheaper, so it's a little bit of a different situation. Most people, I feel like their next house, they buy a bigger house, more expensive house, you get in your pocket. So no, Matt and I keep some stuff with our house private just because I obviously put my finances online, but he doesn't. And so I'm just gonna kind of share what I did with my part of the money, obviously, and not like the total amount that we made on the house, if that makes sense. When it comes to profit, we got that deposited into Matt's bank account since the mortgage comes out of his, so that's kind of how it works. And then off the top of that, we put money aside for projects and renovations and kind of bigger things. And then after we kind of skimmed that chunk off the top, we split the rest in half, and we each obviously got half of that. So I got about $6,000, and with that $6,000, I split it 3 ways. So I put $1,000 into my savings and investments, $500 into my TFSA, $500 into my RSP. Then I put aside $2,000 into a like high interest savings account, my Neo savings account, for Amazon purchases, anything like furnishing the house that we did right off the bat, Facebook Marketplace finds, etc. And then the other $3,000 I put into a home savings account, and that's what's been covering when we have people come look at the house, to have some furnace repairs done, and so that's coming out of that account. So that's kind of how we handled the profit. And so I had given myself $2,000 in terms of like furnishing costs, and so far I've spent $750 of that, so I still have $1,200 in that account. And I'm gonna constantly be adding to that account because obviously you guys know we are very thrifty people around here. The price of new furniture is scary. Even at IKEA, honestly, like it's getting expensive. So you never know when you're gonna find something at a thrift store, at an antique sale, or on Facebook Marketplace. So I always like to have money set aside, that way I don't have to worry about budgeting that money, if that makes sense. And so that money is kind of always going to be up and down. I might find something on Facebook Marketplace, I might add to it for a while and then make a big purchase with it. Now let's jump into, I guess, the old bills versus the new bills, because I'm sure people are curious. It's just gonna be my half because you guys know I split them with Matt, so I guess double, well actually don't double them because Matt doesn't have a car payment and his car insurance is cheaper. Old house, our mortgage was $1,600 total a month, and my half of that is $800. Our condo fees were $370 a month, my half being $185. Utilities were around $200 a month. Car payment is $314. My car insurance is $220. My gym was $80, and then our internet was $70, split in half, that's $35, bringing our bills to a grand total of $1,834. So let's just say $1,850 to like round it up and be on the safe side. Then our new bills, so our mortgage is $1,742 a month. I explained that in a, I want to say it was the video of us either announcing we were moving or not, but my half is $870. We have no condo fees. Our smaller bills, I'm gonna estimate at $300. In this winter months, it's obviously gonna be high with heating and stuff, and we actually haven't gotten any of those bills yet, so I guess we're just gonna kind of see, but I'd rather overshoot it than undershoot it, you guys know. Car payment is the same, car insurance is the same, gym is cheaper, and then our internet is also a little bit cheaper. So we actually are coming out about $50 cheaper a month, but granted, if you factor in, like overall, I think it's gonna end up being the exact same amount because I'm spending a lot more on gas, but I'm also spending a lot less on buying stuff because I have not been really shopping that much, like for myself. At the end of the day, it kind of all equals out, which is great. So that's kind of a comparison of the old bills and the new bills. Maybe first we could talk about my savings goals. That way you can kind of understand going into the December budget what the plan is. So I'm going to talk obviously a bit more in depth in my 2024 financial goals video about this, but right now we're just trying to get settled and we're not trying to rush anything. We both have good emergency funds saved up, but in terms of sneak peek for 2024, my plan is to beef up my emergency fund a bit just because we are in a bigger house now, and this house is like fully our responsibility. It's not like a condo where if something breaks on the outside, the condo company is responsible. Like this is our responsibility, so I would feel a bit more comfortable having a bit more of an emergency fund saved. And then my plan is to just, like I said, be putting money aside every month into like my sinking fund for the home, whether we use that to buy a piece of furniture on Facebook Marketplace or to have, I don't know, electrical fixed or something. Like we can do with it what we will. I'm gonna kind of keep adding to that every month, and now obviously that amount is going to go up and down. If we, you know, don't use it one month, then we'll carry it over to the next month and keep adding to it, etc. And then of course just budgeting for those bigger projects. And so my priority right now, like I said, beefing up my emergency fund. I want to keep up my minimums with investing, and I want to keep putting money aside for the house. And I think we're pretty good because we don't really like to buy a ton new. I think it's so fun. It's such an adventure to thrift and buy things on Facebook Marketplace. That's our goal. And we do have some makeover projects for the winter that we want to do. You guys know we want to do like a little DIY kitchen renovation on a budget, and then we plan on doing a downstairs bathroom as well. So just starting to kind of save up. That's kind of what the savings priorities are right now. I'm really just trying to get settled, get used to my new budget. And then Matt and I are pretty good about sitting down. We try and do it every Friday on date night with like our takeout, and we'll kind of go through, we'll pull up the Notion, what's our plan for the next month, and kind of how we have like a timeline going on where we plan out our projects, and we never do anything spontaneously because obviously there's a cost associated with that. And so surprisingly, contrary to all the negative comments on my videos, this house is in really great condition for being 100 years old. We had a really great home inspection, and the bones of this house are really great. Our foundation is great, our roof is great, our plumbing, our electrical, like everything is good in the house. Obviously we have crooked floors. That is the life of living in an old house, but for the most part, the bones of this house are really, really good, which is why we decided to buy it. Things like the kitchen that are not aesthetically pleasing, like those are things we can change, but this house has really, really good bones, and so I'm not super concerned about, you know, we are getting a structural engineer to come out in the spring to help us find ways to preserve the integrity of the house and the good bones of the house to make sure we kind of keep that going forward. But there's nothing in this house that's like do or die right now that needs to be done. That's kind of what our priorities are right now, and kind of that way we go into my December budget and you guys have a bit of a better idea. Alright, you guys, now that we kind of have some context into the old bills, new bills, moving costs, all that kind of stuff, we can jump into the December budget. I'm very excited. December is a 3 paycheck month, which means I don't have to pay myself from the business, which is amazing. I've talked about this before, but if I can avoid paying myself from the business, I do, because then I don't have to pay double taxes. And what I mean by that is that obviously you get taxed as a business, but then if you send yourself, whether you're on like a payroll or I'm on a dividend system, I have to pay taxes on the personal side as well. So when I can go and not pay myself, I truly, truly love it. And I think that's why I will never leave my corporate job or at least right now, I don't think I will, because I love being able to just live off my corporate income as much as I can. Obviously there's months that I have to supplement my corporate income with the business income, or like supplement my income with the business. I know I work a part-time corporate job, my hours are pretty flexible and I'm okay with that, but not paying myself a ton from the business allows me to, as much as I can, avoid lifestyle creep. I feel like I've done a good job. I don't always think lifestyle creep is a bad thing, but it allows me to kind of stay as humble as I can with my income. I chose not to put my business income on our mortgage application. Actually not applicable because I don't have 2 full years as an incorporation to put my business income on the mortgage, but we got approved for the mortgage with just like our corporate incomes. That's it. I try not to use my social media income in my personal life if I can help it, for the most part. Obviously social media is not going anywhere, but I just feel like having that separation is really good. And do I pay myself from the business and invest that money a few times a year? Yes. Do I supplement my income when I need to? Yes, but I try as much as I can to separate them in my head so that I never give into that like, now's the time to get a new car. That was total word vomit, but all that to say, I just try and separate them as much as possible. And going into the new year, I have a good business model plan that I want to stick with. And obviously because I dropped from a full-time corporate job to a part-time corporate job, I do have to supplement that income a little bit. But on a 3 paycheck month like this, I don't have to, which is great. And that was just a bunch of word vomit to say that I don't have to pay myself from the business this month. So like I said, it is a 3 paycheck month and I'm estimating I did get 2 raises this year. So I'm estimating that my new base, my old base used to be about $1,200. My new base should be about $1,300 to $1,400. I'm gonna do $1,300 just to be on the safe side because I never want to overshoot. Oh, I also did incorporate rollover because I don't normally do this, but because we had no mortgage payments in November, my checkings account is obviously a lot higher than usual because I wasn't paying for a mortgage. And so I'm incorporating my rollover in there because technically a good chunk of that rollover will pay for that double mortgage payment. So we pay our mortgage bi-weekly, but we have our payment for all of November coming out December 1st and then bi-weekly payments after that. And so this is our full mortgage amount, but it's because I'm paying 2 half amounts. So 2 half amounts equal 1 full amount. So that's why the rollover is there and I have a lot more money in my checkings than normal. It's because we don't really have any bills in November. Like I said, you guys know I like to try and budget off of my corporate income as much as possible and then supplement if I have to. So until I'm in the negatives, we're not paying ourselves anything from the business. Expenses, groceries, I'm gonna put 200. I think that's good. The grocery store that's near us is it's like a Sobeys brand if you guys live in Canada, like maybe a Sprouts in the US, I guess. And so it's 5 minutes down the street and then the next closest grocery store is 30 minutes away. So we are spending a bit more on groceries because we're going to like the closest store. It's just like a convenience thing. I'm gonna say $225 to be on the safe side. We're also not really hosting or anything for Christmas, so I don't think we'll need anything. Actually, I don't know. My mom hasn't gotten back to me. I'm gonna say $250 on like the really, really safe side. Matt and I, you guys know, just take turns paying for groceries. I pay for all the HelloFresh, and I get asked a lot too, like, if I pay for all the HelloFresh, doesn't Matt pay for all the groceries? Honestly, it just doesn't bother me. It's just what works for us. I'm the one who wants to do HelloFresh. Like, Matt enjoys doing it, but I'm the one who wants to do it, so I pay for it, if that makes sense. So anyways, that's kind of how we do it. Before Matt was doing the HelloFresh, or sorry, I was doing the HelloFresh, Matt was doing all the groceries, but there's a lot of groceries that like I buy for me, and so it wasn't really fair to make Matt kind of buy all that stuff. So eating out, we don't really have much near us, and so I put 100. I think that's fair. Matt and I once again take turns. Coffee shops, I might honestly put 30 because like once again there's not a coffee shop near us for about 30 minutes, so I've just been enjoying my coffee at home, and if anything I've just been like getting more coffee here to make. Appointments, I did 55 because I will need to get my nails done. I get my nails done once a month. That's like my thing. I probably won't ever give that up because it just, I don't know, I just enjoy getting it done. Health and wellness, I have 50. Actually for appointments, I need to put 255 because I'm actually getting 2 tattoos. That's like my Christmas present to myself. Health and wellness, I really don't think I need anything, but I like to give myself that in case I need like face wash, my acne like medication, anything kind of like that. Shopping, there's nothing I need. Christmas is coming. I'm gonna really try and do a low spend on myself this month, and one of the things I've talked about in the past is that different seasons of life have different financial priorities, and right now I could give a rat's ass about buying myself anything, which I don't mean that from like a scarcity mindset. I just mean that I'd rather prioritize this home, and I'm having so much fun furnishing this home, and if I could pick between finishing the hobby room and buying myself like random clothes that I don't need and stuff, I'm gonna pick the hobby room. And so right now our financial priorities in terms of like variable expenses just really lay in like getting the house furnished, and I'm having so much fun with that. Shopping, that's just like stuff for me, and I really, once again, don't envision myself needing anything. I'll put 100 in case there's like a good Boxing Day sale, but the only thing I can think that I need is like some bralettes. That's it. The kids, Stella does need to go to the vet, but I need to find a new vet in Salem. As far as I know, it doesn't have any vet bills, so I'll put that 0 for now. Gas, I'm gonna put 150 on the safe side. Once again, I'm still trying to kind of figure out what my new normal is. I promised myself when we moved out to the country that I wouldn't give up my life in the city, and what I mean by that is I would still make it a priority to see my family and friends and stuff, and so I have been going through a decent amount of gas, and once again, I feel like January will be a good month to like, we can see how December went living here a full month and going from there. Alcohol, I'm gonna put that, I'm actually gonna take that out and just start putting that in the grocery budget because we don't have a alcohol store near us. We just go to the grocery store. Our grocery store has like this insane lineup of wine and beer, so we just will usually grab a bottle or 2 of wine with our grocery run. And then new home, I have 500, but this is, once again, I'm gonna take this out because I don't know how I'm going to keep track of, let me know what you guys think. If I have a sinking fund for home purchases, should I just line them up? And what I mean by that is like, let's say I spend $250 on the home. Should I put like home sinking fund here? Because technically they're gonna equal each other out because I'm using money from a sinking fund, not my checkings account. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that for the home, but I guess I could put maybe here home sinking, I don't know yet. I still gotta figure that out, but what I was mentioning is just that I have budgeted myself about $500 to spend on the home, but that's coming from the sinking fund. Just know if I spend any money on the house this month, it's coming from my sinking funds. Then we have bills. Once again, we have a double mortgage payment, so technically our mortgage this month alone, because we have 2 payments, is $34.84. Hydro, November was pretty like warm in terms of the fact that we didn't have the heat on a ton, and all of these bills are split in half. So our hydro would technically be $200, I'm estimating, and then gas and heat, I'm estimating $300. Hydro is just like electricity, and Matt and I are pretty good about like not leaving lights on and stuff like that, and we only do our laundry like when it's cheap to do, like on the weekends and evenings. So I'm not sure, but once again, I'm just gonna overshoot. Car payment, car insurance, that doesn't change. Subscriptions don't change. Gym, I actually haven't even gone to get my gym membership yet, but that is on the plan to do next week. Internet, we just changed ours over, and so I actually should budget for, let's see, our Starlink was $180 a month, I'm pretty sure, and I just want to see when that payment is coming out because I actually just realized we're gonna have a double internet payment. If I look at my balance from October to be on the safe side, it was $158. So I might just do that, which would be $79 a person. And then plus our new internet is $80 a month. So plus, but I'm gonna estimate 100 because I don't know if there's gonna be any like first time fees. So I'm gonna estimate that our internet for the month of December is actually gonna be $129 each because we have to pay off our Starlink from November, but then our new internet is starting with our new provider. So yeah, water, I don't think it's starting yet. And so yeah, bills are definitely a bigger expense this month, but I have allocated for that in my like checkings account. That's why the number once again is so big. Okay. Investments, I'm just going to keep up with minimums this month, 250 TFSA, 250 RSP, and then we'll see if I want to make like a big contribution at the end of the year. And then short-term savings, like I said, this is for my home savings account. So like I mentioned in earlier, what did I say I had left in it? Like 1200 plus 500, so that will have me at like 1750. And then once again, if I don't buy anything that month, I will just like keep adding to it, and then if it gets to a certain amount, I will stop and just like, you know, wait and use it. But that's kind of the plan for December, and because it's a 3 paycheck month, I don't have to pay myself from the business, and I actually will have a little bit left over, which is awesome. So yay. Is the budget for December, and kind of a little bit of like a financial reset, if you will, setting up my new budget. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this yet. It's gonna be a surprise to myself as well, but I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. I am just feeling so motivated. I'm so excited. I'm excited to just chill this month. I'm trying to not get like too excited about next year's goals. I really want December to be like low and slow, you know, like just lay low, take it slow. That rhymed. I did that on purpose, and I just really want to relax. So I feel like this is a good setup. And then once again, December too is a bit of an experiment month as well, because we do have a few of those double bills left, like our internet. And so I feel like January will be a good indication of, well, December will be a good indication of expenses, because Christmas presents I'm done already, which is great. And so it'll just be normal expenses, and we'll kind of get a good feel of like gas, groceries, etc. And then January we'll get a good idea of bills in a normal month, because like I said, we have that double mortgage payment, the double internet, etc. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.